What's up, Tech Tools? Ean Golden here in the studio. We've got a mega disco ball, and we've also got some mega awesome tips for you today. We're going to talk about the Traktor remix decks. A lot of people have been saying these sound awesome, but I don't know how to use them live. I don't know how to set up a new remix kit. So today we've put together a cool tutorial to show you a brand new technique we're calling Jam on It that makes it really easy to set up remix kits and jam over songs you're already playing with the remix decks in real time. It's very easy to set up, simple to understand, and really hard to break. So let's go over here to the DJ booth and show you how it works. Alright guys, so we've got a remix deck here loaded up with one of the sample remix sets from Native Instruments. And this is pretty typical, the stuff that you've seen online and the stuff that are in the samples. They're full songs. That you can basically play with. And the idea here is that there's a full loop of drums, there's a full loop of bass, there's a full loop of strings and effects and pianos, and you go through and you'll rearrange a part live. The challenge of this, of course, is two things. Number one, these are really hard to build. Unless you're writing original material or you have access to stems, how are you going to build a remix set like this? And number two, there's really not that much great content out there. So what I'd like to propose to you today is a different model of working with the remix decks. It's something I'm calling Jam on It because it allows you to jam on the remix decks and jam on songs that you're already playing, kind of like my buddies here on my t-shirt who are jamming on this wave. It's super fun, and I think you'll find it to be very easy to set up. Alright, so here I've got a Jam on It remix set, and basically this set has been designed to be played over Jam on It by Nucleus, and if you guys don't know this track, you should definitely check it out. It's pretty fresh. It's kind of a famous 80s hip-hop tune. Now, this set will work on almost any track, but it's going to work particularly well over Jam on It, and it only took me a few minutes to set up. It's basically a collection of different one-shots and patterns and loops that are meant to be played momentarily. So if I sync up, make this guy the master, but you might notice that there was something else kind of happening there that was pretty cool. Not only was I triggering the samples, but you also heard Jam on It being affected. The song itself was changing in time with the samples that I was playing. And this is the big idea of this technique, that when you trigger a sample that's a one shot or a single phrase like this, you trigger it in a momentary way and at the same time trigger an effect either on that sample or you trigger those same effects on the track that goes underneath the sample, so the two become glued together. There's of course a super famous producer out there that you guys all know. I know this is a bit of a love-hate situation here, but this is what this guy does all the time. You'll hear these songs have big moments where huge fills or sounds or growls sort of punch into the mix. And you can literally create that live with this technique. When you trigger a big growl or a drum fill or a famous sample, just put an effect underneath it that cuts out the music completely or applies a beat masher or does something really interesting to the underlying track, and you can create big Skrillex style fills at any moment. So that would actually be super easy to sample. Let's actually try it. just grab the beginning of that. Again, we're going to use the loop to make sure we only get that part. All right, so let's drop that into this cell, and as you can see, the tempo is now 145 and it's syncing it up to whatever the tempo of the mastered track is. Let's play this guy, speed it up, and now that's going to be in time with this track. Now the problem is, first of all, it's looping, and second of all, nothing's happening to the track when we press that button. So here's what you can do with your own MIDI controllers. Go into the controller manager, go into the mapping, and then I'm going to add a function to do whatever I want. This is where you get to be creative. What would happen when I press this deck? For me, I want to cut out almost all of the underlying beat. For example, maybe we can cut out the EQs, such as mid-kill. I'll go ahead and map that only to when I'm holding it down. So let's also add the low EQ to make room for that big boom at the bottom of that sample. So now when we press this button, you'll see it'll kill the EQs on those two tracks. All right, so I know some of you are gonna hate that sample, but whatever. It's a good example of how you can go into any track, and this gets really fun, and grab little spicy pieces and create your own jam on it set that you can then jam over any track you're playing in a regular DJ set. Okay, Tech Tools, so there you have it, jam on it. The mapping that you guys saw me use for the MIDI Fighter 3D in this video is available for free, and also the sound packs that I used are also available for free at djtechtools.com. Just click on the links below and you'll find the appropriate pages. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time in the studio.